Did you know that a mere $3,000 could have snowballed into a mind-blowing $137.6 billion? Sounds crazy, right? But it's true. Let me tell you how that was possible with just a few clicks, some smart investment strategies, and a time machine. Too bad I don't have a time machine. And that you could go back in time and give your younger self investment advice to make as much money as possible. And the limitation is that the paper you give yourself can only hold 3 bullet points. So, what would you write on that piece of paper? Well, in this video, I'm going to write down the 3 investments that I would write, and the last one is a killer. But before I get to that, let's jump in our time machine and go back to my early college years. And that way, I can direct my old, ignorant self into the right direction. So we're back to the beginning of the year 2011, and at that time, the world of investing was really a minefield. Most people thought that cryptocurrencies were just a fad, and let's be honest, none of us really even knew what Bitcoin was. But looking at the price of Bitcoin in the early months of 2011, it was only $1 a Bitcoin. So obviously, I would want to invest in the Bitcoin. You probably saw this coming when you first clicked on this video, but there's so much more to it than just this. If you only invested in Bitcoin in 2011, using $3,000, which I had at the time because I had just barely got done working 3 different jobs, well then I would make a whopping $221 million if I decided to pull out earlier this year in 2024 on March 14th when the price of Bitcoin had climbed all the way up to $73,794 per Bitcoin. That alone is life-changing. I could have built a huge, beautiful home, I could have made lots of businesses and so forth had I done that. But I would not have pulled out on March 14th of 2024. I would have pulled out earlier than that. Now, you're probably thinking I'm crazy, but hear me out. To maximize my returns, I actually would have pulled out in January of 2021, more specifically on January 8th. So what was happening on January 8th of 2021? If you don't remember, during that period of time, GameStop was about to erupt in just a few weeks, climbing from $4 to over $400 per share. And this was caused by Reddit users building the foundation to do a short squeeze on GameStop. So if I had pulled out a Bitcoin on January 8th, I would have made $121 million. Not the $221 million that, was so big, but I would have taken that $121 million and I would have invested it immediately into GameStop. And by doing that, I would have multiplied my money by 100-fold. And then I would have pulled out on January 28th, making me about $13,188 million whopping dollars. Or in other words, about $13 billion. Now, this sounds great and all, but there's actually one more last killer investment strategy that I would tell myself, and that is that I would invest into NVIDIA. And I would do that immediately after pulling out of GameStop on January 28th of 2021. Now, why would I invest in NVIDIA? If you guys don't remember, NVIDIA climbed from $13 a share to about $135 a share in just a matter of 3 years. So I would have taken that money, invested it immediately, and then pulled it out of June 18th of this year, 2024. And doing this strategy would have made me my goal of $137 billion. So with this money, I would be up there with all the big hitters like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. So then what would I do with this money? Well, literally I could do about anything. I could create a ton of businesses, go heavy into real estate, and then create my lifetime goal of a rec center for my hometown. And then lastly, with the cherry on the top, I'd make this nice restart program for homeless people and addicts where they could live for free on condition that they take real life skill classes. And then of course, they would have to get out on their own within a certain specified period of time. So all of this would have been made possible with a mere $3,000 and just 3 points of knowledge. So you can see how powerful knowledge is, and I literally wouldn't have to work an additional single day of my life to make this fortune. All I would have to do is make a couple clicks at the right time.
Piece of cake, piece of crumb cake.
So what are the takeaways of this time travel fantasy? And that is that it's all about being informed and watching out for emerging investment opportunities. Whether it's Bitcoin, GameStop, or NVIDIA, or the next big thing on the horizon, it's all about knowledge, and that knowledge is power. and it can change your life. The more you know, better your chances of making wise investments that'll set you up for success. So don't let misconceptions hold you back. Now, if you could go back in time and tell yourself 3 investments that you should make, what would those be? And can you guys beat me? Let me know in the comments below. Hey, and if you guys are interested in diving deeper into investment strategies, click on this video right here. And with that, guys, I will see you guys next time.